Thank you, Cindy. Excited to be here, friends. I know no one cares, but I just got back from vacation and this is my first speaking opportunity. So I'm still new. I feel like I'm still new at the words right now. All right. So today we are, it's good to know, Brandon, I care. I love this. So I'm glad that, a lot of you are not quite familiar or only somewhat familiar with zero click because we are going to do, a primer on this. So with that, all right. So the TLDR is clicks are disappearing and attention isn't, right? We'll cover what changed, what to do about it, and how to build a new kind of strategy. So this is kind of how I feel like marketing has been lately. It's been kind of hard. It's been kind of foggy. It's like, something I've been noticing is I feel like when I need to promote something, no matter how hard I try to frame the value up front, my reach just gets crushed. So in this somewhat recent post, I feel like, I tagged another brand. Algorithm did not like that. Give even a hint that you're sending people off platform. In this case, I was promoting my podcast, which is called Meme Team. I didn't even actually link to my podcast. I spelled out memeteampodcast.com. But I've noticed each time I do this, my reach tanks. 1/3 the reach, honestly, sometimes even worse. But when I'm not selling anything and I'm just vibing, the reach is much better. And maybe some of you feel similarly. You're working hard and nobody's clicking. Friend, it's not your fault, right? Because there's a disappearing click, and what is up with that? We are now in Google's zero click era. I mean, you look up a fact and it's right there in the SERP, right? Heck, now you can even ask complicated queries like, what's the connection between heart failure and dialysis? And it'll tell you right here in the A overview. And, there isn't, if someone is just quickly looking up information, right, a casual browser, then this is probably enough to satisfy their query. And that makes sense, right? But this is leading to zero click searches, right? And in fact, we now know that about 60% of Google searches end without a click, right there. And of the ones that do end with a click, a quarter to a third of them, or nearly a third of them, go to a Google-owned property. So a quarter to a third of these clicks are going to like Google Maps or YouTube or, another Google-owned entity. All right. And also, social skimming has become the norm. Everything that goes viral is native to the app, right? Already in package to consume, all in there. People aren't even really clicking out because they don't need to. Plus, even if you do click out, like for Twitter or X specifically, when Elon Musk purchased the company and showed the algorithm, it shows that posts with links are marked as definite spam vector. Like clearly there's a penalty for posts with links. Plus, and this is more recent, as of I believe this is just a few weeks ago, Facebook has been saying that posts with links or the links are killing your reach, right? Meta/Facebook is advising users to drop the links in their comments instead of in the main post. And their own transparency report shows that over 97% of all Facebook post views are now going to content with no external link, right? So this is this little screenshot here is their recommendation to, not include the link. And then this is their own transparency report. All right. And then even if you do get that click, even if somehow you get it, it's getting misreported. And how do we know this? So at SparkToro a couple years ago, we ran this experiment to measure dark social, and we found entire networks hiding referral data, which means that if you are relying on analytics platforms to provide accurate info about where your visitors are coming from, you might want to revisit those assumptions, right? Like if you look at this, you can see all of the traffic that you might get, right? All the traffic that you get from TikTok, 100% is hidden, which means it's marked as direct traffic. Instagram DMs, 30% are hidden. For LinkedIn in general, 14% of the time, that referral string is hidden. So even if you do get the click, you don't know it's coming from that platform. But there's also this weird, phenomenon. And this is something that our friends over at Siege Media found. Sorry, I was distracted by the comments in the chat. So our friends over at Siege Media found that there are some brands that appear frequently mentioned in LLMs, like the top ones like ChatGPT, but there weren't links. So Siege thought that has to count for something. So what they did was they analyzed 50 websites and found this. They found that clicks and impressions to a brand's homepage were higher than the links to deeper on their website, like to their blog. And it's because of branded search, right? Because more people are seeing their mentions in ChatGPT and going to their websites. And there's also this issue, right? Attribution is broken. Brand interactions are fragmented and invisible. Like someone might see you, someone might see your LinkedIn podcast. Someone might see your LinkedIn post, hear you on a podcast, and then maybe later on they'll Google your brand name a week later. And your analytics, then Google gets the credit. And attribution models reward the last click and not really the full journey. The content that actually builds trust often gets ignored by your reports because it probably didn't generate a direct conversion. And, AI and the social platforms front load that value. People are getting what they need directly in that feed. So there's no click, no session, no attribution. So is content marketing dead, right? The content marketing that we have classically been taught or learned, is it dead? No, well, not really. Maybe just the old version of content marketing is dead, but it has definitely evolved. And the new job of content marketing is now zero click. And in a zero click world, attribution takes a back seat to measurement. So when I'm saying attribution is dead, I'm not saying we don't try to measure our efforts. We do try to measure our efforts, right? We look at things like, right, in terms of the old attribution metrics, we used to look at last touch conversion. We would look at channel specific click-through rates, page view counts, form fills. Now, what we really need to be focusing on is, instead of last touch conversion, it's looking at branded search lift. Who's looking for us? How are they finding us? Are they actually searching for us, right? And instead of channel specific click-through rate, which is probably going to get lost and misreported, look at direct traffic lift. Like, sure, you can't see the traffic coming in from TikTok or Mastodon or WhatsApp. But if you are focusing on creating zero-click content, generating that value up front, then you will get that lift in direct traffic. And then you're also going to be looking at things like earned mentions. So interestingly enough, I think this is where we're going to see this return or the re-rise of classic PR, right? Classic PR, where you get great mentions in media and ultimately, all these earned mentions. And then instead of just pure form fills, what we need to be looking at is overall lead quality and velocity. Like, the people who are signing up in your forms, are they the people that you want to be reaching, right? Are you closing deals faster, right? Is the marketing you're doing, the content you're creating, are all these things in service to finding the right customers and solving their problems? And so here's where the zero-click marketing comes in and where you can have the highest impact. So most buying decisions are made before someone ever visits your site. Consistent visibility means your brand will become the default choice.